Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have G.I. Joe Classified Series Dusty, and as you can see it comes in that typical G.I. Joe Classified Series style packaging with some amazing artwork that's on the front of Dusty. On the left side we have Dusty taking cover, and at the bottom he is tracking some tire tracks, so that looks pretty cool. And then on the right side we have the file card system. Dusty is number 49 from the Classified Series. And then on the back, we have all the digi renders just all slapped together, looking cool. And let's get Dusty out of the package. Now, you know, if you're going to be a G.I. Joe, you're going to have a backpack, and Dusty's backpack is pretty awesome. A lot of sculpt work, texture, pouches. It looks like a full bag. We got a canteen on this side and a canteen on this side. He's got to stay hydrated as he's going to be dealing with some desert warfare, but it's a really nice looking backpack. It's just like, you could see the seam, and I almost wish it did what Action Force backpacks do, where you could just pop that open. Because could you imagine just having all this space inside this bag to store items? Dusty comes with his iconic helmet. It's sort of like a signature helmet where it has like the fabric. But this time we don't have real fabric. It is just a sculpted type of fabric. I wish we would have got the real fabric, but who's to say what type of fabric Hasbro would have used? So we got the sculpted plastic to look like the fabric. But we got some camo on there, some texture, some detail, the strapping, which looks cool. Dusty comes with 2 pairs of goggles, one to wear equipped, which looks pretty decent on him. I guess he's got to protect his eyes during sandstorms. But we got this like silver paint that's almost mirrored, but it looks really good. And then some of you are like, well, where's the second set? Well, the second set goes on the helmet. And with the goggles on, and you put the helmet on, the helmet and everything fits pretty awesome. Dusty comes with an assault rifle, has a nice optic, the rail system. We got the overbore bipod, which I didn't realize that, usually I'm used to bipods being down below, but I didn't realize that they had like the overbore types of bipods. I'm not a fan of it being brown when the rest of the gun is black. Like, if you're gonna have it brown, you should definitely have some painted brown accents or something, but they didn't do that. There's definitely a lot of sculpt work in the handles and throughout the gun. We got the muzzle flash hole in the front. Not bad. The magazine was packaged separately, acting like it's a separate accessory in a sense. Like, oh wow, you get an extra accessory. No, it's just the magazine. Should have came equipped, but it is removable, and his little assault rifle looks pretty good. Dusty also comes with a nice combat knife. The blade's painted silver. It's got some nice sculpt work in there. You can really see the details. Handle sculpted nicely. Just, it's one of the more unique and nicely well done knives. Here we have an up-close look at Dusty, and his head sculpt looks pretty good. I know people were going to be, were worried about his luscious lips, but they are plump and they look fine. They aren't overly plump. Just adds character to him. He's got the face paint on there, and the face paint's cool and all, but as you can see how it's done, it just stops. And maybe it's because of how they do the face print tech, but they definitely needed some paint to cross over his like eyes and lips and nose and stuff, where it just doesn't stop on the sides like that. Because the original figure, it's all over. Even the artwork on the package has the paint crossing his mouth and stuff like that. It just feels like that's what stands out the most to me. The head sculpt looks great. The hair looks great. I mean, it's Dusty. And then we got like a little tube that goes from the front to the back that goes into his backpack for his camel pack. He has some water and stuff like that. Got to stay hydrated. And as you can see, and I know you can see it on camera, it's not as bad in person, but it is, you could still see it. This tan plastic is different than this, and it's 2 different tones, which is weird. It has his last name like the original character, Tater. I don't know if you pronounce it like that, but it made me laugh. I was like, Tater! It says G.I. Joe. Strappings in brown looks good. He's got this floating belt thing like how Storm Shadow does, separate piece painted, so it's obviously brown, and then they painted the tan on there. The camo throughout this figure is weird too, because you see it on the lower part of the shirt. There's nothing on the upper part. it's this weird camo pattern placement. Like, look how bare the center of the arms are. Then you got the different tone of tan for the elbows. Goes the same way with the knees. And then you got like this like sweater. It's almost like a sweater cuff. But then the shirt's like a button up. We got the black t-shirt underneath, which is cool. But yeah, it's like, I was like, this is sort of like a sweater arm. And then it's a button up. It's, I don't know. I guess it might be a outfit that I'm not aware of. But there's tons of sculpt work in the chest. It just gets lost with the glossiness and lack of wash and paint. Pants have texture as you would expect. There's the knee pads with the off-tone tan. We got his boots. Got the knife in the sheath. Boots are just all brown and then darker brown for the joints in there. You can really see that it's brown, but it's darker. So you get a lot of sculpt work and stuff, and a lot of plastic use for color. And I just feel like we could have definitely used some more face paint. Now, before diving into articulation, I just wanted to show the issue I had with the helmet. And I know a lot of people have had, even without the goggles on the helmet. Let me toss those in the back. Like, you push it down, and then the sides want to flare out. It doesn't really like, it's weird and clunky. It's almost like you need to heat it up and hold it like this, because it flares out, and it's just weird looking. It's very, very weird. And again, it's just like you try to move it around and stuff, and like you start moving it and it buckles out. Like it's, yeah, see how it popped up like that? That's another gripe I have with the figure. Diving into articulation, he has all the typical G.I. Joe articulation. He's got attitude in there. His head can look down quite a bit because the neck moves and all that stuff. So all that articulation you'd want in a head. Grab his arm like so to lift it up. And you can get the full T-pose. Reason I say grab it here, you can see it. See the little gappy? You don't want that to pop off or get worse. Now hold it here. Elbow here. Pinless. Double jointed elbows. Look good. Work well. Rotation and bend in the wrist. We get the ab crunch, where you can lean forward quite a bit. And you can lean back a decent amount. And get his arms to pop back down to his sides. We get the hula hoop waist, so you get to twist them. You can hula hoop. You can do the Van Damme. Drop down hips. He has thigh cuts as well. Can do full-on field goal. Boot swivel where the boot swivel is. Double jointed knees. Ankle bend. Pivot. And there is that butterfly that it moves, but it doesn't really make a difference. Here we have Dusty all geared up, and I even busted out some blast effects from that Viper 3-pack, and they look pretty good together. And the figure itself, it looks like Dusty. The two-tone plastic for the tans, a little bit of a gripe. The camo pattern placement is weird, and his lack of makeup across his eyes and mouth and stuff sort of bugs me. And the helmet, like there's little nitpicks here and there, but when he's all geared up, I mean, you can tell it's Dusty. And I think a lot of people are like, we need that fabric for the helmet and stuff like that, because honestly, Dusty stood out the most, in my opinion, as a kid because of that fabric that was on the helmet. I feel like he would have got lost and mixed in with other Joes if that little piece of fabric wasn't there, because that's something that we all remember, and that was sort of unique to him. And it's weird they didn't add that, but overall, I mean, it's Dusty. Doesn't look bad. I've seen some people heat up the helmet, add some clamps and stuff like that where it fits a little bit better. But as you can see, I have it on him, and I'm not moving him around, so it looks pretty good. So if you get him posed up, put the helmet on, it's all right. But the fabric as well that they have sculpted, it doesn't really droop like fabric because it's plastic. Dusty poses up pretty well. You can get him in some nice running poses. Just have him running into battle, or maybe he's trying to outrun a sandstorm before it really hits. Now we got some size comparison going on here. We got Gung Ho and Sergeant Slaughter. They are on those bigger bucks, and as Dusty should be a little bit scrawnier than Gung Ho and Sergeant Slaughter, but they look good together. So let's go ahead and get them out of the picture here. Let's go ahead and bring in one of the Crimson Twins. Let's go ahead and get the Viper Officer in there. Oh, I got to fix his foot. Fix his foot. He's sort of leaning a little bit, but there you go. Cobra Officer. Should be able to do a Mind Bender as well. So Mind Bender might look jacked and everything, but he isn't much bigger than Dusty himself. Got some ninjas I can bust out as well. Just sort of giving you guys a really good idea of how he scales with other figures from this line. So, definitely taller than the female ninja, but still, you can see that. And then, of course, we got to do some Action Force. Got the Scarab. And then we got the Night Ops Steel Brigade. One of my favorite figures. I just love that color pattern. And you can just see how well Dusty fits with all your other 1/12 scale figures. So in the end, Dusty is a decent release for the G.I. Joe Classified series. I'm happy to add him to my Joe team. Yes, I have my gripes like the two-tone plastic, the camouflage pattern on his clothes and the makeup. Those are some gripes in the helmet. Is this one of the best G.I. Joe Classified series that's been released? No. Have I seen worse? I think so. But I've seen worse figures overall from other lines, but this one, when you see it, it's Dusty, and, you know, when he was all geared up, he looked good. So I'm happy to have him part of my collection, and that sums up my unboxing and review of G.I. Joe Classified Series Dusty. If you guys are enjoying my content, go ahead and hit that like button. New to my channel, hit the subscribe button as it helps the channel evolve and grow. Make sure you guys hit the silver bell notification so you know when I post up a new video. And go ahead and show some love to Toyco. All the information's down below. The Facebook pre-order group. So if you're into a lot of the imports like your SH Figuarts, Mafex, Figma, Storm Collectibles, check out Toyco. Some of the best pricing and best shipping pricing, because it's usually free shipping. So definitely check it out down below. And I want you guys, most importantly, to have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful day.